with the fact that being a doctor involves hard work, long hours, and often unsociable hours. What challenges can that present to the doctor? Ignore the second question, but let's think about the first bit first.
Well, obviously that could affect their health, and that could impact their decision making and their autonomy and making like their capacity to make decisions on their patients' well-being. Because obviously, as a doctor, you are in charge of someone's life. That patient's trusted you with their life, and well, they want the best of it, don't they? So if working hard and working these long hours is part of the job, but that will impact the patient's care, and it could also affect the organisation with the multidisciplinary team, as when doctors are all working together when trying to resolve an issue, it might impact the decision as you're not considering all the possible outcomes. It could cause conflict between colleagues or even the patients, as patients might not think that every possible treatment's being explored for them. Could cause complaints to arise, as patients don't think they're being given the best possible treatment. And it could just impact the doctor's life in general, as they might feel really overwhelmed with the fact that they're working so long and not taking the breaks that they need, as they are human too. Even though they signed up for that job, everybody needs just a break. And that could cause some long-term illness for them that could impact their life severely. And they need time to respite.
Okay, anything else? So the next part of the question is, how can these doctors manage the challenges?
Well, I think they've got to obviously work a set amount of hours a week, like we said, 120 hours. So that could be spread across the week instead of doing working all day, then working all night, and it just going on and on. Because obviously when you're on call, it's unpredictable how many hours you're going to be working, how hectic it's going to be. So they can't predict what the outcome of the day is going to be like, how busy it is, how severe the patient's illness or what the patient actually needs, they don't know. So I think they'd have to try and the management would have to try and allocate the patient, whatever the doctor's got to do, their task, depending on their speciality, allocate a set amount of hours, and so it's distributed equally. But then you've also got to consider that they do work as part of a team, so it's lots of different specialities would be working together on one patient. And
Done? Thank you. Let's have a discussion about this. What do you think? What's your reflection on this question?
I think I gave the points that came to me when I read the question. And I tried to refer back to the steps you gave us on the board.
And as a consequence of that, you had a decent stab at it, didn't you? Yeah? So do you think you can carry on doing a similar thing when you're practicing questions at home?
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll have more of a slick system.
But I don't know if I was waffling.
There's always going to be a bit of waffle, you know. I don't think we can eliminate that completely. But the more I think we practice the system, the more we think comprehensively, the less waffle we'll do, I think. So don't be too put off by how you perform today. By the time your interview comes, hopefully you'll get more slick and better at dealing with these questions.
What was the what point was I meant to give with this question?
So I think, look, if you break things down, first of all, you didn't panic. You know, you started off nice at a good pace. Perhaps summarise, perhaps verbally or mentally, you know, okay, so doctor's working hard, long hours, unsociable hours. You know, what challenges can that present to the doctor? Okay, so it's really inviting you to go into that perspective thing from a doctor's perspective, isn't it? You know, doctors work hard. That's, you know, it's the challenges it can face is that if you work too hard, you can burn yourself out, can't you? You can work too much and a doctor can get burnt out. You can work too much and not enjoy what you're doing, lose interest. You can work so much whereby something else becomes more attractive out there, other form of work. You can work so much that you're just in the rat race, you're not really developing or improving. You're working long hours, that will physically drain you potentially. That will mean less time to do other things potentially, i.e. time spent with a partner, with the children, time spent going out, doing things that you enjoy.
Just rely on you rely on quick fast food and things and that low diet.
True.
And quick release things. Just
very good suggestion.
Quick release of dopamine.
Because
you're not able to dedicate yourself to long hours of things.
True.
Like the medicine.
True.
It's
True.
quite hard.
True.
Oh, and also not sleeping then.
Yeah,
yes.
Sleeping.
So then could you get insomnia?
Of course.
And that could then impact your life.
And you become a patient, don't you?
Yeah.
It's quite pathetic.
Absolutely. Sleep deprivation, you become more confused, you become more poor at making decisions, slower response, not being able to deal with stressful situations as well. Unsocial hours, well, challenges of that presents is you can't quite maintain a good quality of life.
Maintain relationships and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, you did cover quite a lot. You know, you spoke about long hours, capacity to make decisions. You know, yes, there was some waffle, I agree, but actually, you mentioned quite a lot about the doctor's life, overwhelm, working more, lack of breaks, long-term illness potentially, not getting enough respite, organisation. There was issues around functioning in MDT. I thought there was a decent amount there, you know. Of course we can improve, no doubt. But you had a decent amount there. I don't think you should shoot yourself down.
Okay.
Then when you said about how can we manage challenges, you mentioned something about set hours of work. You mentioned something about spreading workload out. I think you're talking about work-life balance, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, having times when you work, but times when you don't work.
Yeah.
And making sure when you don't work, you've got a good quality of not working, i.e. hobbies, sports, exercise, walk, things that freshen you up, things that mean you're mentally just as strong outside of work and not just sleeping away because you're overworked. Balancing workout so that you're not overdoing it one weekend and then nothing for the rest of the week. You're balancing it out so you've got energy every day, spreading the load. Something about allocating and distributing equally around the team. So working with your team so that you share the workload. You can talk about a doctor who's maintaining his health with good food. That helps to be resilient. They can manage themselves by going to bed on time, by making sure they exercise regularly. They can manage the challenge by perhaps learning You might actually have a situation where you need to go and learn about stress management, work-life balance, being more organised. So these are things that we can learn. So yeah, there's always more and more we can bring into these discussions, but hey, it's okay. Your answer's a lot more comprehensive than it was this morning. Yeah?
Okay.
And we'll keep doing that. Yeah? Good. Excellent, Lisa. Eliza?